Down there is that large square with the town hall. We're off to the right of that. Very pretty area, designed to be very pretty and pleasant to use as a park. Notice the bike paths seem to be everywhere. Across from that pretty street with this divided park area, there's a donut shop where I could practice my hypocrisy. Down there is that large square with the town hall. We're off to the right of that. Very pretty area, designed to be very pretty and pleasant to use as a park. Notice the bike paths seem to be everywhere. Across from that pretty street with this divided park area, there's a donut shop where I could practice my hypocrisy. This is the Nicholas Catholic Orthodox Church. Not the one inside the Ghetto, I don't believe. This is interesting wooden carved crucifix. Being wood, it can't be that old. It appears to be 1926. So, beautiful carving effort by whomever. You see how its walls are tipping away from the church? Imagine when this was not surrounded and enclosed by other buildings. Interesting, isn't it? The style, the simplicity, and yet style. This intersection here, so this is part of, in fact maybe from there on in, was part of the large Jewish ghetto. Whether they were given the use of this park or not, I don't know. Down there is the intersection we were at. To the right of that is where the large Jewish ghetto was in part. And this is the Catholic All Saints Church. And apparently there were sewers that ran between the church and the ghetto, and through those sewers a priest here, as well as other Catholics, provided extremely needed bread and other sustenance to people in the ghetto. It's interesting to reflect that in spite of the incredible amount of damage done by religion in the world, there were also anecdotes of great compassion between religions. You can see we're right at the intersection of those, generally of those three streets. The two we looked at specifically, there's two on the left, and the ghetto extended beyond that. I'm guessing this poster on the side of the church memorializes the connection between this church and the Jews imprisoned in their ghetto. That man's specific role, if that's who that Lysuvis is dated June 8, 1932. This church is very pretty on the outside in a very subtle way in some respects. This interplay of like some grayish cement and this pinkish cement. Now whether that's painted in, I don't know. I suspect it may be. But the curvature is very lovely. Notice the profile of this architectural feature here, this faux column, if you will, seems reminiscent of St. Nicholas Church on the inside that we looked at, and its stubby pillars. The gardeners made an attempt to add some beauty in this back little area that's seen by few, I suspect. I think I'm on the wall, which would be the exterior wall of the All Saints Church. Whether it's original or not, I don't know, but what's fascinating are the typical Archimedes gun ports. Back behind All Saints Church now, so maybe that was the entrance to it. Gate going through this door when it had something useful to do, but no longer. Block over from All Saints Church, I found this curious Easter egg. I'm also completing a loop that we started this morning by going outside the Gate of Dawn, and we'll go back in along that same street and past Les Halles as I look for a supermarket. I'm working my way to the east of Gate of Dawn on the outside of Old Town, and I notice this old building I'm walking by and these beautiful old doors. Not much left of them now, and they're deteriorating fast. Sometime in the past it had something of importance. Noticed a place for two flags, there for three, there for one big one there. Here are two churches as I work my way along that road past Gate of Dawn, but I'm now going to hang a left and go towards Užupis, or whatever you say it is. But here are two churches, one here and one there. Look at the crumbling infrastructure of a city like this. You have to take into account that it's only had 30 years out from underneath communism. And when it happens to be a church, it would have received even less attention and respect. Not sure if we'll see more than this, but there is an opening over to our left, but it may not even be the church. Here a wall with the Stations of the Cross on it, because there's a well-maintained and developed religious infrastructure behind me. I'm thinking it's offices. But here, this may be as close as we get to this church. Reminds me of some of the places I saw in India, where you see old, what were important sites crumbling, plants growing out of them. These are interesting for their simplicity in wood. Since this is close as we can get, we'll try for here. Perhaps those windows were all once filled with lovely stained glass. Who really knows? And once, of course, that rusted dome was painted, at least, maybe more. Time they put a modern runoff plumbing on this face to keep or reduce the deterioration to that whole face. Maybe someday they have dreams of restoring this church, but it may be so structurally unsound we're not allowed near it. Here another grand church closed, perhaps permanently. Once a grand church, all but severed from society when this road prevented all but the most nimble to even have access to the front entrance.